Good evening, everyone, and welcome. This is the semifinals of the 2019 Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament. And it's going to be an epic one. Last time, we saw MisterHomes win the first game of this best-of-3 match by less than a minute. It was super close, and I'm expecting another epic one tonight. We are your hosts. I'm NESCardinality.
I'm Sparkover. Hi, how's it going tonight, NESCardinality?
Oh, fantastic. I'm super hyped for this. This could be a very exciting one once again.
Oh, I think it's going to be. It's going to be a very good night here tonight. We are just waiting on one of the runners to ready up, unfortunately having some controller issues, and it looks like they're okay. So checking the time here, I will be exiting the race momentarily, and we are going to have some fun here.
And I will be removing my sweater, because it's going to be a hot one.
Oh, we're heating up in here. How much fire do you think we'll see tonight?
Well, at least 2 bursts from Learning Hurt More, and then maybe a few more from Dragon Lord Breath. That's hard to predict. We'll have to wait and see.
Alright, so any moment here.
It's time! Enjoy, everyone!
The race has officially begun, and the race has begun here as well. Let's see what we get.
Starting with a shocking amount of agility and HP. There's an extra key and the dragon scale.
Alright, so right away our runners don their scale of the dragon, and with 2 keys, well, there's a lot that can be seen out of this. And out we go. Let's see what our racers choose to do.
There's no money to manage or any other circumstances, so no need to save. MisterHomes, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. They're both going to save and check the treasury to see if there's either a key and money or Erdrick's sword. Either one of those would be very significant. And it's definitely worth it just to check. What'll be interesting is if the players get a gold chest on one of their last 2 selections, will they do a gold grind? And the sword is there! So I think all bets are off. I think they're just going to motor through it and not even consider... Yeah, there's also a gold grind. There's nothing to think about here.
A double gold grind.
They won't have keys, but they'll have literally everything else. And both players getting nice and lucky. They open the last 2 chests are the ones that I would have opened first.
Yeah, and it's always interesting to open up with a gold grind and Erdrick's sword because, you know, how far do you really want to push this? Because you have the sword, you're very strong for the beginning. But how much are you going to get for armor?
So if I were in this race, I would have to reset and lose a good 40 seconds or so. Both of these players just about even, about 2,000 gold separating them, which is about 3 gold chests taken. And it'll be interesting to see how much they get. It looks like MisterHomes is going for the full 22.5 for magic armor and silver shield. And I think Lorgon has the same idea now. He's also surpassing the 16,000 mark. It just doesn't take that long to do a little bit of extra gold grinding.
Yeah, and especially with these large treasure chests here, it's a lot of an improvement over vanilla where you can only grind for 6 to 13. Alright, so MisterHomes is first out into the world, and we see a whole lot of forest.
A slime runs away.
And a town right away.
Wow, imagine if this is Cantlin.
Imagine if this is Hawksness.
Oh, there's another town, by the way.
Oh, heck.
Imagine if that's Remolder.
Well, here we've got the town of Breckenry, and looking inside the armory, we have the magic armor and the flames. So wait a second, we have Erdrick's sword. Ha ha ha.
There's a chance that Lorgon has forgotten that he won't be buying a sword. He's getting some extra gold right now.
Or perhaps he wants to try for some extra money just in case he does take a death.
Oh yeah, he's got double silver shield now, you're right. And he's saving, but he's gonna see those towns right away. The other town is Cole. We'll see if MisterHomes gets Erdrick's armor in here, and there is a silver shield.
So 3 minutes in, we have the most powerful items in the game other than Erdrick's armor, but the magic armor comes pretty close. And on the search tile in Cole, we've got nothing. What does that mean? We did find a cursed belt already, didn't we?
It means that either Erdrick's token or the fairy flute is in a treasure chest.
Ah.
And if we found a cursed belt, that means that the other is not in a treasure chest.
So Lorgon finds the magic armor in Breckenry, and MisterHomes finds a bridge to another town?
So many towns. That's, wow, the 3rd town already. Lorgon electing to pick up some herbs here, possibly a torch as well. And Mr. Holmes with a Drakima is going to get 2 levels at the same time, so you're seeing some double-digit gains there. 11, 17, 13, and 20, and the heal spell, as well as stop spell.
And so on our little town on this sandy island here is... Oh, it's a magician. That's not a town.
Not quite enough for level 4. We'll see the town shortly.
And we have... Remolder, our keys are back!
So that's everything except what? The armor and then the rainbow drop items.
Yeah, wow. So we have a very fast start over here. So Mr. Holmes is only going to be able to buy a few keys, but I think with the sword, he'll be able to make enough money to purchase keys again in a pinch.
Oh yeah, he'll be happy with 3 here. You can open the chest, get some gold, and then buy more from home later.
So Lorgon with a play that you don't always see too often here, but with the larger sword, it might be worth it to get the fairy water from the unlocked door in Breckenray, so you're able to chase away the little enemies.
Very interesting. Lorgon now proceeds to Cole, where he will find, to his delight, the silver shield.
Wait, so you're saying Lorgon is about to be delighted?
That's right.
Fantastic. I love it when my friends are delighted.
Mr. Holmes reaches level 4 with 10 power, 4 agility, 7 HP, 1 MP, and the Spell of Hurt.
Not going to be used too much with the sword here.
These Drakimas are just gold for Mr. Holmes, and by gold I mean experience.
This Warlock's going to be very good as well, and that should get Mr. Holmes to the next level, assuming he can defeat it.
5 minutes in with virtually full gear, and Lorgon hasn't actually killed anything, but of course he is about to, and he's going to propel through the level ranks fast. Mr. Holmes, meanwhile, getting level 5.
So the Druin actually, with Sleep and Baby Fire Breath, except no problem for the Erdrick Sword. And Lorgon gets the next level.
Mr. Holmes dashing away from the slime and a magician and finding yet another town. This one is Garinham.
So in this town, we're not going to really be buying too many things, but we've got a door that we can get into the back of, and also 3 chests in the back, and a cave.
I believe Mr. Holmes will comfortably use his last key and go in.
Yeah, considering we know the keys are right next to the start, it's really not intimidating to do that over here. Meanwhile, Lorgon reaches level 3.
And we know it's another big one. Double-digit power and response speed. Very nice.
So in the chest for Mr. Holmes, we found fairy water and wings, and I saw something else that was insignificant, but it passed by my brain very quickly.
Now let's see what the cave is. Interestingly enough, neither player has been in the basement of Sharlock. We have the Jerk Cave in Garinham.
I think you mean the basement of Tantagel.
That is what I meant.
We have not found Sharlock yet, but one day.
Mr. Holmes already one-shotting Metal Scorpions. Lorgon has made it to level 5 already. Just so much to kill with that Erdrick sword.
And we see another cave on the map of Mr. Holmes, and we've got a Demon Knight on the screen, which is definitely defeatable. Might be hard to hit sometimes, but attack power is definitely there.
I was impressed that Mr. Holmes took a shot at this. He got really bad luck being dodged twice, but he gets the excellent move for the victory. That's level 6.
And he didn't even need that excellent move, most likely.
For Mr. Holmes, just 10 HP and 5 MP.
Wait a second. 0 attack power, 0 agility.
Empty Eye loves it.
Definitely.
He also learned the spell of Radiant, which he may never use. We'll see what circumstances arise. The Fun Police have visited Lorgon, and unfortunately he won't be able to get away. Mr. Holmes finding something much better in a Wraith. And a Wyvern next. Just fantastic enemies. Mr. Holmes is going to be so close to level 7 already.
Yeah, some very nice enemies in this zone here, you know, maybe aside from the whole Red Dragon fiasco we've got there.
This skeleton will be enough for level 7 for Mr. Holmes.
So a question in chat, how did we level so fast? Well, we started off with 2 keys, able to get into the treasury to get Erdrick's sword and make a gold grind to get the magic armor and silver shield, and also keys are nearby, and just, it's been a jet seat so far to start.
It was a party.
Well, it still is a party.
It is. It's really exciting when both players can kill so much and get levels so fast.
So into this cave, we've got the Stones of Sunlight Cave, and inside is...
The torch.
I mean, it is light, like sunlight. So on Lorgon's screen here, we have got the town of... I think this one's Rimildar in sight, and he is headed there, so he will get the good news of keys right away.
All those items better be really light if our hero's carrying 8 of them, plus 6 herbs and 6 keys. And a weapon, armor, and shield.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I guess the sword and the shield are probably the most heavy items to carry, but where are the rest of the items stowed?
Another cave on Mr. Holmes' side.
Lorgon reaches Remoldar and will be able to get keys again. I can't see his gold now, but I'm going to assume he'll be able to get his full complement of them.
This is going to be over so fast, guys. This is a really clumped together location. The main continent in terms of another cave. This is amazing. And MisterHomes one-shotting a Wolf Lord. Lorgon, meanwhile, is in Remoldar and is purchasing many keys.
You know, I can't wait until, like, the one shrine cave is, like, way on the other side of the world.
It could happen. It could be on the Swamp Continent, which could be really, really big.
True. Alright, so we've got almost to the bottom of the Tablet Cave here. Oh, and the chest in Remoldar is the Fighter's Ring. I don't believe we saw MisterHomes go there, just because I don't think he had as many keys at the time.
He had 3 keys. I basically assumed that he would go in, and I didn't notice if he actually did or not.
Though perhaps already with the sword in mind and knowing this was close by, he just chose to check it out a little later. So, the herb in the Tablet Cave, not quite so exciting, but at least that ground is covered, and we have yet another cave to check out right away. But first, a wolf.
A wolf for MisterHomes, and a warlock for Lorgon is going to send him to level 6. Just amazing enemies everywhere.
So level 6 was that beautiful true MTI level.
Lorgon continues exploration to the east. MisterHomes finally waking up from that wolf and destroying it.
We see the next cave, which, the Shrine Cave is not going to be across the world. My dreams!
There could still be Sharlock across the world. We could dream for that.
So Lorgon is sent home by the Armored Knight, unfortunately. But, with the keys now, are we going to see what's in the back of Tantagel?
Oh, I guess it's time.
Possibly.
Lorgon's got plenty of them. I don't see any reason for him to open up the treasury. There's nothing to gold grind for. And he's got plenty of gold as it is, if he needs to refill keys or anything like that. Which he will.
Yeah, I think he did use the 2 in Remoldar and then this one now. It's a good time to get some more keys. It's definitely the most convenient location right now.
MisterHomes successfully evading a Star Wyvern will use that heal spell to continue exploration comfortably.
Meanwhile, Lorgon making his way down to the basement in Tantagel. I think we've got only dark caves left. And it is...
spooky.
Woo!
Swamp South.
Swamp South. Meanwhile, in MisterHomes, we've got a metal slime. He's go! Hey, it's an excellent move! Well then!
Well then, that'll do it for level 8.
Alright, so let's see what we get. With Courage and Wit, we get 8 power, 1 speed, 3 hit points, and 20 MB. That's a lot of heals, NESCard.
Meanwhile, Lorgon checking out the swamp tile. It is a golem. That's good information to have for later. He's now going to go through the north exit and see what's on the other side.
And alright, friends, we have seen the Big C. MisterHomes is another metal slime, but this one is a little shyer and it runs away. So on the other side of the swamp cave, don't see a whole lot. I mean, there aren't that many other things we can find. I think at this point we're just looking for Mountain Cave and Grave and Cantlin. Off the top of my head. Oh, and Hawk's Nest, possibly.
That's right, we've seen everything else. Just so clumped into the beginning.
Now that's a nice little bridge.
I call that a 1/3 Sparko bridge. Another 1/3 Sparko bridge!
There's 2 of them. How fantastic.
2 of them that could be on the same screen at the same time. Rogue Scorpion for MisterHomes, continuing to just find perfect enemies to fight. Lorgon can pretty much say the same with a Spectre.
I think I just saw Lorgon is actually just 1 experience point away from the next level, so Lorgon finds a cave here. This is going to be either the Grave or the Mountain Cave. And we've got the Grave.
Wait, how do you know? He hasn't moved yet.
Because he's in the Grave. Just look at him. Look at that grave.
What?
It's the Grave.
I'm confused.
Hi, Confused. I'm Sparkover. Nice to meet you.
Did you see the mountain cave somewhere?
No. Anyway, so Lorgon is going to get the next level here. And MisterHomes takes the... he finds the Fun Police. I apologize, everybody, for breaking NESCardinality. He's under repair right now.
Why don't you just explain why you knew that was the grave?
the player was facing down and not sideways.
See, I learn something new about this game every day. I knew about the swamp cave, but I thought it was only the swamp cave.
Anyway, so the first chest, insignificant. Let's see what the next ones are. Meanwhile, MisterHomes is now at home, and we are going to see what's in the swamp cave for him, most likely. But we know what's in the swamp cave. Still no key items in these chests, though. I believe Lorgon just picked up some wings, and now we get some gold. And so here is MisterHomes in the swamp cave.
Lorgon already fighting a werewolf. This is beautiful, and it will bring him to level 8 after 3 attacks. Oh, it's going to take a 4th. Hopefully it doesn't dodge. Ah!
Ouch! Will he survive? Oh, he does not. So their defense power is pretty decent for their levels right now, but unfortunately for Lorgon, that is a long trip home. So MisterHomes opting not to check out our grinding item for now, or rather grinding enemy, and MisterHomes is looking at the next continent, actually going the opposite direction as Lorgon, so maybe we'll see some new content.
There's still a lot for Lorgon to explore on the home continent, I believe, and he's got those fairy waters, so a lot of free walking out of the home zones.
So I'm trying to see. Oh, look at that! That bridge with the swamp tiles. That's very close to home, actually. We're like just east of the castle.
There's the other one.
Oh my gosh! Wait, it connects? No, it doesn't.
No. But they're like overlapping.
Look at all of those bridges, though.
That's so cool.
Lorgon has just reached level 8.
Both players still at level 8. There is an experience difference right now, but it's not huge, and of course with both players being really strong, it's not as significant.
Yeah, and as noted in chat, Lorgon definitely has had worse luck with the encounters so far.
No question. MisterHomes looking for level 9 from this Axe Knight, but it dodges, and MisterHomes suffers the same fate Lorgon did with that werewolf.
And now being sent home through the castle as well. We'll see if he chooses to go back onto the swamp cave or back out on this continent.
It turns out Demon Knights have hurt, and Lorgon, no problem two-shotting that one.
So MisterHomes choosing to look around on our home continent again.
Yeah, it looks like MisterHomes is going the same way Lorgon did.
Yeah, they're very close to each other right now. They may have just almost high-fived each other.
And it looks like Lorgon is done with this area. He's going to use the wings to move a little bit more quickly.
So we get 7 power, 8 speed, 17 hit points, and 6 MP for level 10. Sorry, level 9. My apologies. Numbers, how do they work?
No repel for MisterHomes, so he is going to have to encounter a few weaker enemies on the way. Pretty high encounter tiles here.
And we know this little zone here is just a bit of a dead end, so...
Yeah, I like the wing use by Lorgon. I'm not sure if MisterHomes has... Oh, he's checking, and he does! He does the same thing. Well done.
Same strategy from both players.
Lorgon electing to not use another fairy water at the moment. It looks like he's going to save those for just when he's exiting the home area.
And just to verify question chat, yes, this is game 2 of a best of 3 series, so this is a must-win situation for Lorgon to move on to the next round.
An excellent move from Lorgon on that Demon Knight. One step away from the town, and a skeleton runs away.
And this one was Garenham, yes? Yes. I don't think Lorgon has seen this one yet, though we do know there wasn't too very much exciting things in here, but it definitely is research to be done when you haven't been here yet.
3 attempts to run away from an Armored Knight from MisterHomes did not work out, and so he'll be sent back. Lorgon getting the treasure in Garenham. The other one was Fairy Water. Fairy Water, gold, and I think wings.
Yes. So Lorgon will be just checking out the jerk over here, saying hi, and then saying bye. We'll be seeing him again later.
See, if you're polite to the jerk, it just makes the world a better place.
It's true. You leave him alone before he asks you to leave. Alright, so let's see how much more content is on this continent.
MisterHomes continuing to profit from those Drakeemaws, 20 experience at a time. They are still worth the one swing. Lorgon gets a Wyvern here, which is very valuable, and MisterHomes encountering his 3rd Metal Slime of the seed. I believe he's just killed one so far.
Yeah, one is all I've seen so far. Alright, then Stones of Sunlight Cave for Lorgon. This was another insignificant item. Ah, the torch. It's like the sun. MisterHomes still working away at the metal slime that hasn't gone away yet, and that is 2 hits on the metal slime, I believe.
It's still there. It's gone. There's Cavesville for Lorgon.
So this one, I guess, should be Tablet? Indeed. Ah, Cavesville. He chooses not to go into it right now. Possibly just thinking that maybe if you have the location, you can look at it later and would rather look for the other caves. The only other cave, he needs 2 more caves. One of them is going to be the Shrine Cave here, and then the Mountain Cave, which, well, we don't know where it is yet.
It is interesting that he didn't go in, especially after Radianting, but I guess the idea is to go in when he is outside. Anyway, Lorgon kills a Wolf Lord for level 9. And MisterHomes has discovered Cantlin. It's coordinate time.
Lorgon isn't even 1,000 experience. Do you know how long I went thinking level 9 was 1,000 experience?
I can imagine.
It was very long. I confused myself over that. Alright, so we're about to see what the coordinates are. I suppose in theory they might not exist, but we are searching 58 to the north and 59 to the east.
117 steps from home, minimum. Unless you go through the swamp cave.
I'm trying to just think about, what we saw from the map so far, and I'm like 50-50 on whether or not it's on the first continent or not. But either way, we do know that you can see landmarks from the other continent.
Wow, I wasn't sure if Lorgon would be successful there, but he defeated an armored knight and actually takes the experience lead for the first time in this match. MisterHomes healing up manually rather than staying at the inn, and he's done with Cantlin for now. Didn't buy herbs yet, but there's no hurry for that. He's got a heal spell and tons of MP, plus no hurt more.
I'm just trying to look here, because like all of this map above us here could be around where the coordinates are roughly, but you know, it's hard to sort of second guess this for myself right now.
I'm not sure if that's the grave or if it'll be the mountain cave. On MisterHomes' side, he'll beat a werewolf first. Lorgon finally running into metal slimes.
Yeah, I want to say somewhere in this area that Lorgon is in right now is where the coordinates are going to be, but, you know, that might come back to bite me later. We'll see.
Oh, that's Cavesville.
Ah, Cavesville. So we've got another metal slime now on Lorgon's side. But it's a shy one. Now our player is both in very similar areas again. I think they're nearby.
Well, there's Sharlock.
With a cute little bridge on the other side.
So there's only one location, 2 locations we haven't seen, Hawksness and the Mountain Cave.
And where could they be?
Lorgon awakes against the Green Dragon and successfully takes him down. Meanwhile, MisterHomes... Oh, does not do enough damage to the Armored Knight.
So MisterHomes had taken the experience lead back, and now Lorgon has it again.
Don't you love it when we go back and forth?
It's fun.
That's gonna be lead number 4. We have death counters, I'm gonna take a lead change counter.
And yeah, being brought up in chat here, Mountain Cave is gonna have like all of the goods. Or at least some of them. I guess we haven't seen the bottom of the grave yet. There's Lorgon finding the little swampy peninsula.
It looks like MisterHomes is ready to try counting out those coordinates. We'll see if it's on the mainland. Lorgon getting really good exploration distance in the meantime. We'll see if he discovers the Mountain Cave or Hawksness. I guess Hawksness... Oh no, it still has something, that's right. Coal was empty.
Yeah, so I'm thinking here, I'm just trying to piece together what I've seen from the runners so far, and I'm thinking the second continent is where you want to go for the rest of the things, but it's possible that there is something left unturned. Anyway, the next level for Lorgon here, we get 3 power, 2 speed, 0 hit points, 3 MP, and a new spell.
He's got Repel, and Mr. Holmes had briefly taken the lead, so we've the lead change counter goes up to 6 now.
Alright, back to the big C for Lorgon. Checking out that bridge, but oh, there's not very much there.
Mr. Holmes not far behind, just receiving level 10 now. And exploration continues on both sides.
So it looks like Lorgon is now choosing to go through the tablet cave after having done a little bit of exploration in the area, and I think he has concluded that, other than this, that there is not too much around here.
Now we know this chest isn't important. Mr. Holmes has found an armored knight, and he's got really good odds to beat it now. He just has to connect here and do enough damage, and that's lead number 7.
And as well, of course, for Mr. Holmes, very important for him that he stays alive and able to keep the position of where his count is.
It'd be a long journey back otherwise. Now Lorgon thinking about where to go next. Another armored knight for Mr. Holmes. A lot of good value out there. Spectre is good for Lorgon. Nice, excellent move on the Poltergeist. Not necessary, but...
I feel like they always run.
A Wraith, another good enemy for Lorgon. A little bit dodgy, but no problem.
So Mr. Holmes just snaking his way around this little lake here and finds another armored knight.
These armored knights from Mr. Holmes have been so valuable. Will he get this one? He will.
He will, and Lorgon now, in Cantlin, going to stay at the inn. I think he had a good night.
Time to fill up on herbs as well, and yet another armored knight for Mr. Holmes. What a region this is for grinding.
Yeah, indeed, this is really helping him get up there. With all of their MP, it's definitely helping. Being able to just stay around in this area and heal while keeping the count. So
oh, wow.
Oh!
This one actually sent him back. He must have had really high HP. Lorgon will get the coordinates now.
We'll see what he decides to do with that. And yeah, a lot of speculation as far as whether or not these coordinates are going to be on this home coordinate or continent or not.
Lorgon choosing to keep his location around Cantlin with some heal spells.
And Mr. Holmes getting to walk a little faster now since he definitely remembers where he was before.
Always a good idea to set some sort of benchmark on the way to your count in case something goes wrong on the way.
I feel like Cavesville is a decent benchmark.
Yeah, I always make a note of where towns and caves are on my way, what the coordinates of them are. Lorgon successfully evading a Star Wyvern to stay alive.
Alright, and Mr. Holmes is resuming the count. And looks like this does open up fairly well.
Mr. Holmes has run into a dead end. So he's taking a look at his surroundings. And yeah, it's looking like it's going to be through the swamp cave, so he's just making a note of exactly where he is.
I mean, that's a very, you know, you can really tell what that spot looks like even from the other side. See, those little, like, third Sparkover bridges, they came in handy. They were landmarks. So still only about 150-ish experience between the two of them here. Not a whole lot in this area, you know, when you're still searching around and trying to find things. So Lorgon uses the wings.
And he's ready to count out. And Zarnax in chat making a very good point that I hadn't discussed yet. These coordinates are not necessarily a priority. The players have not found the mountain cave yet, and that means the coordinates still could be the fairy flute.
I always love it when I get coordinates and they just lead me to something new. That's always a fun adventure.
Yeah. I don't like it when when it messes up my mapping, but other than that, I like it.
Question in chat, did we see Spike Tile for Swamp Cave? That was the golem, yeah?
That was the golem.
That was the golem. Yeah, Lorgon checked that on his way through.
Man, these armored knights are close, but MisterHomes prevails against this one for level 11.
Alright, let's see what we get. 6 power, 1 speed, 8 hit points, 15 MP, and a new spell. We've got Heal More.
Also learning Sleep there. Useful against stone men. If I had to guess, I'd say that's the only enemy that MisterHomes is actually going to use it against. In this seed.
So I don't know, some of these other enemies sure do like to use the sleep spell.
Lorgon's gonna keep going for it against this green dragon with sleep and weak breath, and he prevails.
So question in chat, where did Lorgon find the ring? MisterHomes is here with that answer for you. In Remoldar. So he finds his ring and equips it as well.
And it looks like Lorgon just wants to Death Warp here for position and speed.
Or he's just really angry and stomping around.
That's a bad place to stomp around if you're just angry.
I think so too. No, that definitely is an intentional Death Warp. He is going home. And we'll see if he gets the princess. I mean, it's very convenient if you, you know, if you're really just wanting to defeat the golem and get through there. Though, on Lorgon's side, he doesn't have Heal More yet, actually. How close is he? He's very close to the next level. I mean, he could easily, you know, get a level and get Heal More, but he doesn't know that Heal More is the next one, so we'll see what he decides to do. So both players now are heading for the second continent. MisterHomes just slightly behind in footsteps.
Slightly ahead in experience, and Lorgon is very close to that level 11.
I wonder if he sees Heal More, if he would choose to go fight the golem and get the princess anyway.
Oh, that's an interesting thought.
But for now, we've just gone through.
MisterHomes has cast Radiance, so that makes it pretty clear that he is going to fight the golem.
Though he doesn't know it's a golem, though. I think he's just discovering this right now for the first time. I mean, the golem is going to still be able to hit pretty hard, but with Heal More, it's nothing to worry about.
It's so much MP, and it's so valuable. I mean, even if he weren't going after the princess, this battle would make sense.
So interestingly enough here, it looks like Lorgon is headed straight for the coordinate area. Though unless he made significant landmarks early on before he started counting, he's not going to know that, unfortunately. So MisterHomes is princessless right now, but he knows where to head, so it's not like he really needs her. Let's see what he decides on.
Lorgon hadn't quite hit level 11, so doesn't have Heal More, but he does manage to run away from that dangerous armored knight. He's now healing up to full, and if he encounters another one, this time he'll be able to fight.
Alright, where does this end up? Let's find out. In the middle of here? He's got to be very close. And there is Erdrick's token. So what does that mean?
Erdrick's armor is in Hawksness, one of the 2 remaining undiscovered locations, both of which are extremely vital for this particular seed.
And there's a lot of new content over here. So Lorgon reaches level 11, and we'll be getting the Heal More spell here, along with some lovely other stats.
And he can use it right away for maximum heal value.
Wow, Lorgon, like, just walked right over the armor. I mean, maybe not right on his tile, but very close to it. Unfortunately, again, no way of knowing that, you know, without having counted it before. So from what I saw on MisterHomes' side, looks like this is a bit of a dead end over here, but we've still definitely got some more things to look at elsewhere on this continent. And there's a wee town up there. I believe we've got Hawksness.
It's time.
And with Healmore and all of this strength, unless there's like a huge plot twist, I think I have confidence in whatever MisterHomes wants to do. Wait, what's with that enemy? Where is it?
It's right there. Didn't you? You looked away when he was attacking.
I can't see it.
It flashed.
That's odd. What's happening there? Wait, there he is.
Yes, that's him.
Explain yourself, game. So MisterHomes just does a little heal up here before our enemy that is the blue dragon. I don't think we've seen one yet, or at least not do anything funny. Stop spell, though. Not really a worry unless it has something terrible, but hurt is the opposite of terrible. That's the dream.
Yeah, I think both players will sit and grind here for a few minutes.
Yeah, so tell me, what does Erdrick's armor do with stop spell and hurt?
Erdrick's armor does no less than 6 things in this game, one of which is it permanently blocks stop spell from ever working on you. And another is that it lowers hurt and hurt more damage by 1/3. So, very, very nice bonuses for this particular grind.
So MisterHomes got up to the next level there, and of course, you know, picked up the armor on the way. Lorgon as well, picking up the armor while defeating the blue dragon.
And I was wrong. Both players are leaving. It looks like they're in a hurry to get that mountain cave. Possibly because, I didn't realize how strong they are. They basically are expecting to be in go mode by the time they get those vital items.
Yeah, they really are going to want to find that mountain cave, possibly check the bottom of the grave, depending, but I feel like, the mountain cave is probably the priority.
Look at this, they're in the same place, they're going in the same direction. If the mountain cave is down here, this could be so close. Lorgon just needs to get, there it is, wow.
No, that's Swamp Cave, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Yes.
Lorgon still does need to acquire the token. I wouldn't be surprised if he rescued the princess. It would be convenient, but we'll see.
Though I guess for Lorgon's sake, it is at least good for him that the token is, the token is the map item and the armor is the one that he has now, just to help him, you know, get his way around the map. Also, I think earlier I mentioned that Lorgon had just walked over the armor. It was the token.
Yes.
No wonder he missed it. It was just like some little thing in the grass, not like a giant armor suit.
This time he did not stub his toe on it.
So, MisterHomes here has found the grave.
And yeah, it looks like Lorgon will rescue the princess. This is just really convenient speed-wise. He doesn't know right now about the coordinate merging thing.
Yeah, though he also didn't try and count it out himself either, so, I guess it really depends on if he thinks it's going to be on, you know, which continent, because either way, if you go the wrong way, it still is a long walk.
Yeah, I never know how detailed other players' maps are, but if Lorgon has been making a detailed map, he might already know just by looking that it's on the other continent. Here's level 12 for Lorgon.
MisterHomes gets the news that the upstairs chests in the grave are not exactly what he's looking for, so what does he do? He is definitely looking for 2 key items, and there are 2 key items there are 2 items in the grave. But does he choose to risk that, or see if he can find Mountain Cave first? It looks like he's choosing to go down to the bottom.
He's here and he's healthy, with 2 items to go and 2 chests out of 7. It seems important. There's the princess grab for Lorgon.
He's done it. He has rescued the princess from the basement of Tantagel? Those aren't very good guards, are there?
So he'll walk through to get back more quickly. No return spell yet, and I don't think he has wings right now. He could run away from this golem, but with 4 heal mores, it's just valuable. It's a valuable kill.
Yeah, very low risk in this fight when you've got the heal more spell.
Yeah, the golem can't dodge, so it's basically no risk.
Is that true? Actually, the golem can never dodge?
It actually is.
Wow.
That's one thing I learned just this year. I'm learning so much about this game, day after day.
Well, we've each taught each other something today, so it's been good. Alright, so we've got the herb in the cursed belt chest in the grave, so that verifies we are going to have to find the mountain cave.
It clinches the likely. Lorgon's gonna do the... We could call this the ghetto magic refill.
Yeah, why didn't he death warp there to refill his MP?
Well, you see, Sparkover, when you die with the princess in your arms, she runs back to the only place she's known for the past... Who knows how long she's been kidnapped.
Very comfy. I mean, in the Super Famicom version, at least she has like a nice little bed and a table. In this version, she just has nothing. Well, that's nice. You took her home, and she gave you a nice little GPS device so you can always see where she is. Which, of course, is always the castle because, well, Dad's mad at her. She got kidnapped.
It looks like Lorgon really does have a good idea just by the map. He's going straight back through the swamp cave to check those coordinates.
Yep, good call on his side.
So everything is really close right now. Both players just needing to find the mountain cave now.
Yeah, it's the elusive mountain cave. Where could it be? So Mr. Home is working on another metal slime over here, but it's also shy.
It gets away.
Wow.
Oh. It is the mountain cave, isn't it? No, it's not. I'm sorry. He's still in the grave.
Yes. Oh gosh, imagine if the caves could connect by staircases.
Lorgon comes out of the swamp cave and discovers that he's at 3939.
So we've got the torch at the bottom of the grave. Absolutely pointless.
So if Lorgon discovers the mountain cave first, he won't have to dive the grave. He's got the sword.
Though I think we've pretty much verified that he's not going to run into the mountain cave on the way to the coordinates, so it just depends on whether or not he feels like gambling on the bottom of the grave or not. And yeah, look at that, no outside spell for Mr. Holmes, so he actually does have to walk out of here just because he doesn't want to take a death here, and also taking the death with Edric Summer is difficult. And yeah, so I think especially without the outside spell, Lorgon is probably going to want to look for the mountain cave first.
There are 8 experience points between these two players.
Wow. So here's Lorgon using Gwaelin's Love. I believe the token is just going to be like a few steps above him or so. Yep, 54 and 57.
So it's, yeah, across that bridge he's got to go.
Yeah.
He'll use it once more and discover he'll have to go 1 south and either 1 or 2 west, I believe.
Yeah, he had very good intuition there on where to go. So good job for him. And yeah, he picks up the token, and chat really thinks that Lorgon is going to be looking for the mountain cave before going to the grave. So let's see if he can find it before Mr. Holmes is able to, who is still walking his way out of the grave. They're going to be very close to each other. I believe the grave is just north of Lorgon right now.
I agree with chat based on some things that I've seen from Lorgon in previous races. And Lorgon just barely didn't retake the experience lead there while that brief window was open.
Alright folks, some new content here, and when we see a cave, we know that's what we're looking for to get the final items.
And Lorgon just rushing to that, to the mountain cave. He knows that stonemen are slower than blue dragons, so he just wants to find the cave and then get to grind and go mode.
Yeah, if you want to be grinding anywhere, the blue dragon is really the ticket to success.
And yeah, there's a very good chance. Both players know, like, they're oh my, is that it?
That has to be it. That's our last thing. So there is our mountain cave. So yeah, looks like Lorgon's just going... If he keeps going north, I think he should see it from where he is. Very close to it, at least. Alright, so there it is. First chest in Mountain Cave. is gold.
This race is incredibly close. What else is he looking for?
I think Lorgon did... I think that is Mountain Cave there, but it might be so close to the grave that he doesn't realize it. Like, I think if we just go south, we'll see the grave. Oh dear. Alright, so next, chests in Mountain Cave, we find the Silver Harp. Need to trade that in for the Staff of Rain. Mr. Holmes picks that up. And in the next chest, we get the Fairy Flute. Alright.
So we knew the Fairy Flute would be in a chest. We didn't know if it would be here or in Sharlock, though. It looks like Lorgon had a moment of confusion there. He might just check this cave and realize that it is in fact the Mountain Cave.
Well, look at this. We are 100% clearing the overworld. The very last chest.
I just saw another cave over there. So yeah, he's going in.
Yes. So there we go. Lorgon has found the Mountain Cave, and very close behind Mr. Holmes will be able to find what he needs. So here Mr. Holmes picks up the Stones of Sunlight, has about a 500 experience lead on Lorgon here. But again, with no outside spell. Must walk.
Both players still needing to visit the Shrine Cave and the Rainbow Drop Cave.
Though neither of them were too far away. I believe the Shrine Cave was a little bit closer than Garenham, which housed our friend the Jerk.
And Mr. Holmes is going to reach level 13 here, and we'll do some quick calculation as to how close they are to readiness.
Alright, so we've got 1 power, 1 speed, 13 hit points, 15 MP. That's an interesting one.
That HP is so significant. And 15 heal mores. But it's really close, but they are strong enough to win at this point.
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible, but it might be questionable depending on your playstyle.
With the HP, I would definitely go for it, so I'm assuming that Mr. Holmes will as well. He's really good at making these calculations.
Yes.
And Lorgon will see he's less than 500 experience away. We know last night he got a little bit of extra grinding done, so we'll see what he decides tonight.
Meanwhile, on Lorgon's side, he picks up the Silver Harp and the Fairy Flute. So Mr. Holmes taking a good look at the numbers there.
Yeah, agility is not high, but he has the Silver Shield. That's very significant, and of course the extra HP. I just think he's like 99% likely to go with these numbers.
Wow, do you remember the beginning of the seed when we started with like 33 agility? And that was so much?
Yes. It was all in that level.
Yes. So Lorgon now finding his way down to the very final chest. Soon he will pick up the Stones of Sunlight.
Well, what do I know? Mr. Holmes is electing to grind here.
I mean, it will be a very fast level to get. Maybe he just thinks a little tiny extra boost will be what he needs.
That's a good point. He might even just take 1 golem or maybe 2 and then descend the rest. I didn't really think about that, but, you know, if he encounters any red dragons, he's going to want to fight them. So yeah, this makes sense, to just get a little buffer here.
So here Lorgon has picked up his Stones of Sunlight to pair with his Silver Harp and the flute that he found in the Mountain Cave. They've got all the things.
Just a couple exchanges to go, and then it's Sharlock time.
I think it's very unlikely the Death Necklace becomes a significant thing here, so let's just say we've got it all. Other than a little few homework assignments we have to do to be able to actually enter Sharlock Castle.
Well, as I say, 13 is winnable with full resources, so hypothetically, if they were to pick up the Death Necklace, it would just speed up the Dragon Lord battle, but they probably won't deviate for it, because it's not required.
Definitely not. Alright, so Lorgon also reaches level 13.
That HP boosts, and that MP boost as well, so significant. What do you think, Lorgon?
Well, he thinks he has to get a Staff of Rain and a Rainbow Drop.
I thought you were going to say he thinks he has to get out of the Mountain Cave first.
Well, that too. That's, step 1 of many. So question in chat, at what HP would they feel comfortable using the Death Necklace? 130 seems to be the, popular safe number, but people have used it at lower levels.
Yeah, the numbers can call for different values. You can, again, it's one of those situations where you can go with less than 97 HP if you have a lot of extra heal mores.
And a good point brought up in chat by my other Nick actually here. Do the runners have a wings? I don't know off the top of my head, but that's a very good point. Our runners do not have the return spell yet.
Interesting. Both players currently fighting golems.
The one on purpose and one by a chance encounter.
And MisterHomes really wants to finish off this last one for the level before going back. So he's going to use the Fairy Flute after being ambushed and hope to defeat it here.
Yeah, as long as Golem just, you know, stays asleep, it's a nice safe fight for him. I like his odds here.
Oh yeah, he's got it. Lorgon, meanwhile, has got an Axe Knight.
Alright, so let's see. What do we get for level 14? 3 power. No! 3 speed! What?
It was 3 power, 3
speed. It was 3
speed.
power, 3 speed. Sorry, I read things twice. Few more HP and 1 more MP.
So even conservatively speaking, only 15 attacks are required now to cover the spread, and they have 15 heal mores, so I can't see MisterHomes going for another level here.
Meanwhile, Lorgon is just getting his way up into Hawksness. Looks like he is going to be doing a little bit of grinding on the blue dragon, who we saw was very friendly as far as attacking went with the stop spell and the hurt spell. The stop spell? Yes.
Those exchanges still have to happen, by the way. And it's possible for MisterHomes to get another level on the way, so we'll see what he fights.
Yeah, depending what enemies he finds and what he chooses to do.
Lorgon electing to go after the blue dragons, very safe and quick battles.
So yeah, the Staff of Rain Cave should just be over here in Cavesville.
There's the Staff of Rain for MisterHomes.
One quick stop away.
And only 3 more blue dragons for Lorgon to reach level 14.
And we'll see what he thinks of that level as well. Off the top of my head, I believe that the grave had wings in it. So yeah, there's a very good chance that MisterHomes does have wings. Off the top of my head, I can't remember if he picked them up or not, but people in chat are saying he does. Stocking up on herbs here, he's getting ready to go down to the bottom of Sherlock Castle. Meanwhile, Lorgon here is just about to hit the next level.
The Wraith, unfortunately, is not quite enough, so it's sort of like an enemy that's standing in the way. But he's gonna exit and find something on the way out, it looks like. Ghost is not enough.
Not quite, little ghosty.
There's the rainbow drop for MisterHomes.
Just another quick peek at his stats.
And the wolf... Oh, the wolf ran away! That's so mean. But yeah, if he's going through the swamp cave, he can get an enemy through there. No problem. Drakey Ma's enough.
And with that, Lorgon hits level 14. We'll see what he thinks of that one. I want to think he likes it.
And Zarnak's making another good point in chat that with both players not having return, the blue dragon would be virtually incapable of sending Lorgon home, so he got a lead on walking home here. And it seems pretty clear both players are intent on winning at level 14.
Yeah, though Lorgon still does have his, you know, his little chores to do, whereas MisterHomes is ready to enter Sherlock Castle, and we'll be able to see what is inside it.
82 agility. Armored Knights and Red Dragons are still a potential question mark on this dive. We'll see what's in Sherlock.
And with that, he uses the rainbow drop, casts it towards the sky, and we are entering Sherlock Castle. Lorgon here to turn his staff, or rather his silver harp into the Staff of Rain from this friendly man.
And there are armored knights in Sharlock. Lorgon hasn't healed yet either. He's gonna have to find a town or Tentagel.
So we are gonna have to go into the town of Garenheim anyway to get the
Rainbow Drop.
Rainbow Drop! Words! Thank you! Sometimes I have lost my words, but
And
you
there
helped
it
me
is.
find them.
I'm helpful.
Very.
Plenty of armored knights in here, only slowing MisterHomes down right now. They're really not a source of danger with all that extra HP. And MisterHomes with so many extra heal mores, he's gonna feel very comfortable burning off one cast of heal and potentially an herb as well. He'll use a heal more here, he's not worried about that.
So here's Lorgon opening the treasure chests. I think very smart here, remembering that the wings exist and that he needs them. Very good play on his end.
Wow, well done, Lorgon!
Yeah, not having the return spell can be, you know, just something that you sort of overlook.
Now, he has to remember to get the Rainbow Drop as well, and I'm
Yes.
glad he did.
I'm very thankful for that townsfolk person who was in the way of the door. So as long as he remembers here, which now it does look like he does. Alright, MisterHomes has cleared a floor.
And it's time for a new set of enemies. Will there be armored knights down here? Will there be red dragons down here? Or will it be a safe, smooth walk?
Ah, the wizard with a back attack for 4. I think that's alright. But there is a red dragon on this floor.
MisterHomes gets away first try.
Lorgon taking a quick peek at his stats, now also heading toward Sherlock Castle. It's just a couple short floors left here for MisterHomes.
And he's through the middle zone, so what is on the bottom floors?
Star Wyvern, not too scary. Not running from one isn't too big a problem when they're not going to do too much damage to you. Meanwhile, Lorgon uses the Rainbow Drop and is also now entering Sherlock Castle. So I guess our last question here is, what is our final little mini-boss?
I'm assuming that sound meant that MisterHomes was not happy that he couldn't run away from a wizard.
I cannot comment on what that was, but hey, Dingle. And it's the Axe Knight. Very friendly little friend, I assume.
So MisterHomes is going to feel very comfortable with his odds on this Dragonlord fight here. He is in the 90th percentile, and of course it'll all just come down to whether or not he gets back attacked and how his rolls are, but he's got a huge advantage.
Alright, and with that, MisterHomes is declared a fool by the Dragonlord, and they're going to have a fight. Look at that. 5 damage from the Dragonlord. What a kind little friend.
And he didn't bother with an herb. I wonder if he will here now that he's a little lower than 95. Yes. 94 though, he's going to attack.
Yeah. Alright, NESCardinality, would you like to do some math?
You know I always will. The Dragonlord attacks first and breathes fire for 48, so
Oh my
MisterHomes,
gosh.
feeling very comfortable with his resources, will instantly heal more here, and we will start with this attack. Starting with 9. It's a little below average, but MisterHomes has no reason to be worried yet. 18.
Meanwhile, Lorgon making his way down the floors here. It's about halfway through the castle.
28. Chance at a double here. That's 41. MisterHomes is still the favorite here. 51. 63. 74.
Lorgon just on the last floor now of his descent before going to the very basement.
Always feels good to make the bottom floor before your opponent finishes. 86. And there's a big attack for MisterHomes. He's up to 100 now. With minimum 6 attacks left to go. He's feeling very comfortable right now. 109. And he gets a double. 116.
Very cozy feeling to get that double in there.
$125. $135.
How are we feeling about this?
Well, you know he's nervous now, because it all comes down to the rolls.
A lot of fire breath on the Dragon Lord side.
144. He's got a minimum of 2 attacks left. $156, not enough. And that'll do it!
That does it!
167 covers the entire spread, and MisterHomes will advance to the finals yet again.
Get your GGs out in chat for MisterHomes here, who played a fantastic race.
Lorgon into the final battle before MisterHomes finishes. Another close race between these two. It was excellent.
MisterHomes finishes in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour and 1 minute. 0 seconds.
It's time for Lorgon to get back attacked and finish off his Dragon Lord fight. This will be even easier for him with that extra heal more. Starting off with a 12. 24. 36. 3 12s in a row. 43. 53, getting a double attack there. Man, this was so close. 67. 75. Yeah, MisterHomes was rolling low for a bit, but I don't think I saw any minimum rolls from him. 87. 'Chance for a double here. 101, and he does get the double. He's up to 111 now, with 8 heal mores left. This one is a lock.
Yeah, very different fight on this end. And that's just kind of how Dragon Lord fights go sometimes.
120. 128. 137. He's got a chance to finish him off in 2 attacks, but it might be 3 more, based on what we saw from MisterHomes' fight. 145. Yeah, I'm guessing 2 more.
That number sounds familiar.
160 was enough, there you go. And so only less than 3 minutes between these two. An amazing race here.
Yeah, GG to Lorgon for putting up a very good fight as well. And looking at our stats here, Dragonlord had 159 HP. And with that, Lorgon will be finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 59 seconds. GG to both runners for putting up such a good race. Unfortunately for Lorgon, that is the end of his tournament run.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, right, there is going to be another match. Never mind.
The bronze medal match will take place later on.
My apologies. Anyway, I am just checking on seeing if our runners would like to join us for some interviews. We will see in a moment here. I've got a MisterHomes in the channel here. GG to you, sir.
GG to you, sir.
I suppose I should put my headphones in so I can hear you. I was like, why aren't they saying anything?
I mean, possibly. Hello there.
Greetings and welcome, salutations, and Dragon Warrior.
So you've had quite a phenomenal standing over the years. I believe this is your third final and fourth time making the semifinals as well. You are headed to the finals yet again to face the winner of Up to NG Thurwolf next week. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So that was a very exciting race from both of you. Very close. You had the lead, I want to say, most of the time, but then there were times where Lorgon was able to pull ahead. It was, I mean, you know, very exciting from the get-go. So, what were your feelings?
Honestly, like, I got a Metal Slime again, which is just blind luck. So I thought that was good. But at the same time, it's like, you know, maybe I kind of found the armor a little late. Maybe with the late Healmore, my opponent wouldn't have been able to beat the Golem in the Swamp Cave to search out the coordinates. So it's just like, kind of like, your mind thinks of every possibility, and at some point you just have to tune it out.
I'm just curious about your thoughts, level 13. You went at level 14. Lorgon also elected to take level 14, and I know it was a really short grind to get there, but I was looking at 13 and it was possible. I'm curious what your thoughts were in the moment.
Yeah, my thoughts were definitely like, yeah, it's possible, and it was just like, yeah, it was so close. There was a golem. It's like, okay, I need to beat, what, like 5 or 6 golems? Let's do that. I don't need to push things too much. I know I said yesterday I might be aggressive, but just like, you know, things were so close that if there's a bad Charlock, that would be really annoying. And it turns out it was slightly annoying.
Yeah, it came down to your last Healmore and your last attack. That was a little scary for a bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, I had some, well, pretty bad Dragonlord luck, but I started Dragonlord 2 at 94 HP thinking, you know what, like I'm just computing the averages in my mind. I'm like, we should have this easily with doubles. And then he back attacked me, which I thought, okay, it's fine as long as he doesn't breathe me for 46 or 48. And then he breathed me for 48. I'm like, okay. And then the doubles just never came. He just kept breathing fire. And it was, okay, this is a little more stressful than I thought.
Yeah, it was close. Even down to your last attack, it was a little nerve-wracking because I knew if he had 165 HP, you weren't guaranteed to win on that last attack, so nerve-wracking to the very end.
Yeah, what was I in my last attack? Like 155 going into it or something like that? Or 154?
That sounds right.
Yeah, but I know I went over the max, so... But yeah, I was definitely, like, not half expecting it, but fearing the worst.
Alright, so a little bit of time off, a little bit of time to relax. I'm curious. You jumped straight into. I've seen you jump straight into random casual races after your tournament races, like immediately after they were over. Are you still going to play more casual races before the finals?
Oh, absolutely. Maybe not tonight. I've been just like kind of knocked out tired today, so I might just check the Canucks opening game tonight.
Nice.
But yeah, like it's what people seem to enjoy the most. I mean, as marathon season comes up, I'll have a couple other things that I want to get hammered down. Slurpathon. But yeah, definitely you'll see me there. I mean, it's always good to keep in practice.
And we have a lot of new people this year. I'm so glad that the casual races have taken off the way they have. We'll keep them going over the next few weeks, and we'll see how people feel after the tournament is over as well. But yeah, I just want to congratulate Lorgon for making it to the semifinals. He's got a shot at the bronze medal match, which I believe will probably happen sometime next week. And MisterHomes will await his opponent for next round, either Up to MG or Thurwolf. Definitely some more exciting races to come on the way.
Speaking of that, the next race will be tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock, right here on RPG Limit Break. I hear we're getting some really good commentary for that one. Do you know anything about that, Mr. Holmes?
Am I doing it with Game Boy? It was kind of up in the air. Oh, classic Game Boy F9. Yeah, thanks for reminding me is to not like just go to sleep tomorrow. That would be fun. So I look forward to it. You know, scout out the competition, right?
Ah, yeah. See who will be going up against you.
Right, and you know, I'm hoping just like in hockey, you're hoping that the opponents take it to the decider game to tire them out. So I'm hoping for a Thurwolf victory.
And overtime?
Always, like quadruple overtime. Is that even possible?
I mean, possibly yes. Though I think we would like to see one overtime before we see many of them.
Well, I mean, it would be legendary either way. But yeah, I'm just waiting for it. Yes. So to Lorgon in chat, you have been a very, very impressive opponent. I would like to congratulate you on your very impressive showing in this tournament. I think you punched way above your weight. You did awesome, and I look forward to you duking it out for the third place match. So congratulations again.
Absolutely. A heck of a tournament, and good climbs on the standings on SRL as well. It's a tough field out there right now. A lot of active users who are very strong night after night.
Okay, I'm gonna hijack here because I saw something in the chat that we want to ask Holmes. We were on your sound as you were going through the bottom floor of Sharlock. You kind of want to explain what you did as you got to the 12 o'clock position at Sharlock for our chat.
Why, I'm glad you asked. And I debated doing that because, you know, I don't want to hijack your stream, but we have a nice little saying for that little tiny gap exactly at 12 o'clock. And I call it the dinner bell, even though dinner is probably technically supper, but lunch can be dinner too if you really try hard. And I just call it the dinner bell. And so I imagine just like walking through that square and ringing a bell, like, 12 o'clock, lunchtime.
As for the dinner versus lunch argument, I had an Aesop's Fables book. As a kid, I always thought supper was dinner, but in Aesop's Fable, they referred to it as lunch. So that's just up to interpretation, I suppose.
Technically correct. The best kind of correct.
The best kind.
So I actually did another reaction gift, but you must have been on Lorgon's sound. I encountered 2 armored knights and a red dragon in 3 consecutive squares, and anyone who watches my stream would know exactly what that means.
I can only guess.
All I can say is I wasn't blessing your restream with techno fun police beats.
Oh, I think I have seen that one before. Well, any other thoughts, Mr. Holmes?
I'm happy, I'm satisfied, and I'm ready to just kind of wind things down for the night. That's been that kind of day. Yeah, super happy. And always, like, it's happy because it's also sad because I really care a lot about this community and really always enjoy when people make it this far in the tournament and have great results. So like I'm happy I did well, but I'm sad that someone has to get knocked out. That's all I can really say. I mean, I'm not gonna not take it, of course.
Yeah, that's always part of the tournament, but, at the same time, it's amazing to see, how it's grown over the years and how many entrants we had this year. It was hard to believe that we're almost at the end of it at this point. But it's great to see you in the standings again, putting Canada on the map for us. Thank you.
Sounds good. I mean, it's been an absolute pleasure so far, and I hope the grand finals can be just as epic.
Well, they should be. Any other thoughts from you, NESCardinality?
Big thank you to Smashy for tracking for us, and Sparkover for doing all the behind-scenes work and joining me for yet another very fun round of commentary on another epic race. Less than 3 minutes between these two, less than 4 minutes total over the two combined races. Looking forward to the finals, looking forward to everything to come. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Have a wonderful night, everyone.